crowd of police following him. But then the crowd's gathering on the sides of the road and the overpasses and cheering him on. People went out there with signs. That's how long it took for this chase to go on. People had time to go back to their home and make a sign and come back out and try to get to where he might drive by.
You think police chase is going to be faster, and then we see, and I think so interesting, like the other cars on the other side of the road, you can see them beginning to kind of stop and be like, what is going on? You see all those people to the side as well there.
You can see, and some of the overpasses where people have gathered.
There we go. There's a shot of them right
it going on. And it was covered, of course, on all the major networks. And at a time, this was what, 95, right?
94 the trial
94.
started, yep.
And so we did not have Twitter. And we didn't have cell phones, and we didn't have all this other social media stuff to spread the word around. So everybody gathered around their TV set to watch this, and that's where it started, really, was the chase. And then, of course, the trial that went on for almost a year after that.
Yeah, and I feel like the chase, all the interest in the chase, that gave us a really good idea of how much interest would be in that trial. I mean, it went on for so long.
Right, and what a circus it was going to become, because the chase itself was kind of like we were all watching it going, well, why doesn't somebody do something other than just drive around in circles? But that's sort of how the trial went as well for about 11 months.
In circles. And actually the verdict, the moments when the verdict were read, I just think everybody's facial expressions are, you just have to see it. So let's pull this up right here.
Find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
So, I mean, you can see, obviously, O.J. Simpson is happy to hear that news, that he's been found not guilty. His lawyers, honestly, to me, they seem shocked right there. I don't even know what they were expecting.
I think so. That's Johnny Cochran, who is his attorney, who is a showman himself through the entire trial. And so he was the one who really went, yes, and shouted. But I think so. Himself was probably thinking it was going to go the other way. It certainly seemed, and I think most people agreed, that the evidence would lead you to believe that. And you can see by the people in the courtroom that they're just in disbelief.
Yeah, some of the victims'
just by hearing that.
Over there.
And I think it was interesting, too, because the trial went on for so long, and being in the news business, we, of course, followed this, and things would slow down, and then something interesting would happen, and then things would slow down, so we paid attention to it for all those months. And then they handed it over to the jury, and we thought, well, this is going to go on for several days while they talk about this. And it came back, the verdict came back in about 4 hours, so that was a shock itself to us in the news business. So we thought, well, we got to get going on this. So we started, like happens, you're in a newsroom, you know what happens there. It's like a rainstorm on an anthill, and everybody scatters and starts doing stuff. So
and then it came so quick, though,
yes.
4 hours.
Yeah, and so we start going, okay, what do? We need to talk to legal representatives in Eugene, working in Eugene at the time, but to the NAACP representatives, too. So my co-anchor and I, we got the assignment to just go out and get people's reactions, or what we call MOS, which is man on the street. Used to be that term. I don't think we use that anymore. But
sometimes.
Yeah, this was that long ago. And it was interesting because the reaction we got from people on the street was surprise and not surprise, because everybody was thinking it could turn out this way, still believing that he was guilty. So that was really what people were saying was, it doesn't surprise me so much that they found him not guilty, but I think he's guilty. So we heard that comment a lot.
And then very importantly in 97 then, there was a lawsuit brought by Ron Goldman's family. That was the other victim in this case.
Yeah, the civil lawsuit.
Yeah, and he was unanimously, O.J. was found guilty in the civil lawsuit.
Right.
He did have to pay $33 million in damages. So he was found guilty in the civil suit, but of course we know not in the criminal court case.
Right, and I think it goes back to what we called a circus in the criminal case, which it really had become. There was so much else going on. There was so many characters coming into play and so many things that distracted from the real issue in that criminal case that it turned out the way it did.
Yeah, especially I know the judge, Lance Ito, and then there was
right.
Mark Furman, the LAPD officer. So
yes.
Just a cast of characters.
And we were talking about KATU DIGICAST.
Another one.
The pool boy essentially is what he was, and a witness. And so it just, you can't make it up.
No.
As we like to say.
you can't make up. Then OJ ended up going to jail for something else, for stealing his own memorabilia
Right.
for a robbery in Vegas. And then I know he ended up getting out earlier, though, for that. He got out, I think I wrote it down somewhere over here. Yeah, he ended up spending 9 years in prison for that. He got paroled in 2022. I remember people were not happy about that,
That
just
he
because
got
of,
out,
yeah.
And it's sometimes people forget what a fantastic football player he
yeah.
was, and yet they don't even want to give him credit for that, and that's understandable. But he was one of the NFL greats, and he broke records and held them for a long time. And it's really, I think that's part of the sad story. The really sad part is that people got murdered, but when you look at somebody's life like that and say, well, look what you accomplished and what great things you did, but behind that, inside you, was this apparently horrible guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, it was like he had that whole career, and then once 1994 hit, I mean, everything changed after that. He was never
entirely
looked
different
at the same way, and he never will be after that, honestly.
Right, and I think so we're going to start to see again. I hadn't thought about this for quite a while. Now that it's all coming up, we're going to start hearing more and more, probably some new things that will come up that we hadn't covered.
Yeah, no, for sure.
In the original news coverage of it.
Yeah, so we've been seeing a lot of reaction to that. I'm sure this is a story that every network is going to be on. We'll have some more tonight, but thank you so much for speaking about your experience covering it, though, Joe. We really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me in.
And now we're going to switch gears completely right now. We're going to pull up a live shot right now. This is of government camp. You're taking a live look at Mount Hood right now. And if you want to go skiing at Ski Bowl, this is a camera thanks to Ski Bowl. You need to do it soon because Ski Bowl just announced that this is going to be their last weekend. So, if you want to go ski, get out there. And now I have Sarah Bagby here to talk about Ski Bowl and to talk about our forecast. So first, I want to pull this back up because I really like looking at this live picture right here. Sarah, what are we seeing right there?
We are looking at Mount Hood live from their camera right now, which is cool, in Ski Bowl. Now, if we look at the roads version, it's not as much snow on the roads. You would know why they are closing because we are getting less snow at that level.
Is it cold up there, though?
I mean, it's about average, a little colder than average, but not an issue. In fact, you and I are going to go experience that today. We're going skiing right after this, but that's what we have to do right now is get out there now before the season ends. Now, as far as our forecast right now, we are looking at a little bit closer to warmer temperatures here in the Portland area. We have those clouds. Those are going to stick with us. And we are under low pressure, so we may get a few showers later on today into the evening. And then we are going to start warming things up by Saturday for the Timbers game. So that high pressure is going to roll in for the weekend, and then it'll move back out as we get those rain and the rain clouds back in for next week. So kind of a typical Portland weather for you.
I mean, Saturday looks beautiful, and that is perfect for
70 degrees and sunshine.
For the Timbers game. That's going to be great. It's also going to be great if you want to go out and explore downtown, which takes me to our next story. And this is something very exciting. If you can look at your screen right there, you see that QR code. This is all a new city initiative that City of Portland has to help people explore downtown, Sarah. I think this is really cool.
It's a great idea.
So they're being called sidewalk clings, and then I mentioned that QR code. So when you scan that, it's going to prompt you to download the Near Me Now app. Then once you get that app, it's going to show you any restaurants, any small businesses, or murals that are near you. So just anything fun you can do in downtown Portland. Officials say that they placed the stickers near some high traffic areas, so that would be like Powell's Bookstore and then Pioneer Place. The city partnered with Travel Portland for that project. So here's what they had to say about that.
It's meant to help with wayfinding downtown and encourage people to come back to Portland, come and take a look at what's happening downtown. The city's better than it's been in a long time, and people should really see it for themselves.
Yeah, we love that energy there.
Yeah.
Come downtown, get out there, especially if it's going to be beautiful this weekend, like Sarah was mentioning on Saturday. If you're not going to the Timbers game, then go downtown or go to the Blazers game even. We're going to be talking about that too.
That's tonight.
I guess that's indoors though. So maybe for tonight that'd be a little bit better because it is chillier at night.
I feel like with the rain, I wonder how long those will last out there.
The Blazers are going to be, that's going to be indoors. Oh, you're talking about the stickers out there? The stickers. Yeah, that with the rain, you know what? We'll see. That'll be a test of their sticking strength.
Yeah.
But take a look at your screen right now. The Blazers season is wrapping up. So tonight they're going to be at the Moda Center playing the Warriors, and then tomorrow they're going to still be at the Moda Center playing the Rockets. Then on Sunday they head up to Sacramento. And I think that a lot of Blazers fans might be happy to see their season end. They're not doing the best this season. They currently have a 21-58 record.
I was
so,
kind of hoping
yeah,
they'd do the dollar tickets again, you know,
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
did at the beginning of the season. But I went and looked at tickets, and they're $60 and up, at least for tonight's game.
Well, the Golden State Warriors, you know, people
Yeah.
want to see Steph Curry play. So
That's true.
probably-
So it just depends on the team. But
yeah, that's probably why. A couple of them have been expensive. And also, you know, because it's like wrapping up the season as
yeah,
well.
it is getting full, too.
Yeah, and something else you can do this weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on, by the way. The Tulip Festival. We have talked about this so many times on this show, but we need to look at them.
The
to
best
really,
pictures.
Yeah, to really appreciate the true beauty of them. So yeah, the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, that is going to be ending a little bit earlier, the Wooden Tulip Festival. So the last day is going to be Sunday, April 28th. It was originally scheduled to go through May 5th. So they are ending a little bit earlier. So if you want to check it out, you have until the 28th. Tulips bloomed a little bit earlier this year, which is different than last year. So last year they were later. But if you do want to go to the Tulip Festival, this is really important to remember. You cannot buy a ticket there. You have to do it in advance because, Sarah, I always usually get my tickets like when I go somewhere, but yeah, you can't do that here. So you don't want to show up and not have a ticket.
Online on
Yes.
your way there or before you leave, but you have to. They'll turn you away. And it sounds like Saturday would be a great,
Yeah, it
beautiful
would
day
be. Yeah,
for
there's
that.
so many events to do Saturday. You have plenty of options. You have great weather.
Yeah.
And we will see you right here tomorrow for another digital newscast. Have a great day, everyone.
This has been a KATU News Digicast. KATU News is on your side.